Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we have really surprising news. I did not think we were going to get news tonight of all nights. I thought maybe early next week, maybe even tomorrow, we could start with more of our Rage of the Abyss reveals, but we start here with a new Blue Eyes card. Scratch that, it's actually not Blue Eyes. I mean, it is a Blue Eyes card, but it's actually more so for the Millennium archetype, which is very exciting. This even more so basically solidifies, if you're a big Shark fan, you could almost guarantee that the next core set after Rage of the Abyss will get one or two new Shark cards, because this here is a second wave of Millennium stuff. Let's hope they do good here. We'll see. All right, this is Soul Dwelling Blue Eyes. Also, sorry about the that this is like so closed in on this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization has done like a different formatting on their website, so it's making it a little weird for me to like kind of fit it into the screen. I'll mess around with it later. I'll try and come up with like a better solution for it, but for now, this is what we got. So here we go. This is Soul Dwelling Blue Eyes. This is a Dragon Light level 8 dragon, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. This card is always treated as a Millennium card. That's actually a really important part of this, because that does make this card searchable off of, I want to say, the Caveman. I think that's the main starter monster for this archetype. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per duel. Okay. Sorry. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once during the duel you activate Millennium Unk. Once during the duel you activated this. Okay, sure. So I guess once you've already activated Unk, that third effect is only once for the rest of the duel. That is such a strange wording on that. Okay. All right, first effect. You can discard this card to add a Millennium Unk from your deck to your hand. If you're not familiar with this archetype, Unk is the fusion spell card that just basically cheats out the Exodia fusion. That's, I think he's like a spell and trap negate, and then he also gets you another trap, which I think they have two different ones that are decent interactions. So that's actually pretty decent. If you're on the actual like pure variant of Millennium, that's already a decent effect, right? Just getting you to Unk, because that is a very focal point of the deck.
What's Unk?
I don't know. That's just what it's called. I don't know what it means.
Oh.
I have no idea. All right, second effect. Possession of this card cannot switch. Who cares? Third effect. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster whose level is 8 or higher and or with 3,000 or more attack while this card is in your graveyard, that's all cost. You can send that monster to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. That's not nothing. That's actually a pretty decent interruption effect. It basically scares your opponent off of going into anything sizable, which in some archetypes, some strategies, that's just already, that's like inherently what they want to get to. Or just, it just keeps them off of their ceiling. I think lowering the ceiling of a deck by having an interruption like this is pretty cool. It's going to be a grave, so your opponent's going to know about it. It's nothing that's going to surprise them, but I just think that's a pretty nifty bonus effect for a card that's already just searching for Ankh, which is already a pretty crucial card in the Millennium archetype. So all in all, I think this is a pretty decent card for the deck. Do I think it's like an auto 3 of? Probably not. It may be a 1 of, just where you do lines where you go through, I think, the caveman grabs this pitches itself to go ahead and get Unk, and you're just trying to get this in grave anyway. That's all you're doing, is you're just trying to get this sucker in grave because you're getting an extra pop out of it, or even if it isn't activating, it's still scaring your opponent out of even going into that stuff, and that's on top of the Exodia fusion being a spell or trap negate, on top of whatever the trap you want to grab off of him for an extra interruption. So I think this card does raise the ceiling of the deck just a little bit here. It's nothing out of this world, but I think it's a deck that, or it's a card where if you're playing the Millennium deck, it's making its way into the deck at least. It's at least a 1-up for me. And I think that's pretty clear. Could potentially be more of it if we find ourselves in a position where like finding Unk is like that important and we really need to see it. Sure, this is just 3 more copies of it. So I'm not opposed to it. I would love it if if the third effect was not just once per duel and was just once per turn, and it said like banish this card, right? Instead of special summon it. But so I get it since it's special summon itself, right? Because it's a 3K body, it's a level 8 body. You can use that next turn. If it said banish itself, just send that card. That'd be a little bit different, but I get it. So that you can't just set it up every turn and have it come back every turn. I guess I get that from that standpoint. But all in all, pretty good card. I think this is definitely playable for them. I'm glad it's playable because we saw from the Legacy, following up Legacy of Destruction, the new support that Yugi got in the next set, Infinite Forbidden, was boo boo. That shit was ass. That shit was not holding up. Basically, you're not playing it. If you play it, you're goon. That's how it works. I'm at least happy that this card is going to see play in that deck. We'll see if they get another wave of support or something else outside of Infinite Forbidden, which they did already get in Animation Chronicle. They have the new Equip spell. That card's also not terrible. That card's actually pretty playable as well. We'll just have to see where the deck ends up. I think this deck has real potential. I think we will see some guys who really love the anime, really love Exodia. They are going to top some regionals with this Exodia Millennium deck. It's just going to happen. So
why the focus on Ankh though? What does Ankh do?
It's basically a card that cheats out a new fusion Exodia monster.
Okay.
And this is a boss monster. He's a negate in and of himself, and he also searches another trap card that can be an extra interruption. So
Gotcha.
it's basically a card that says, like, we're dropping our boss monster. That's going to give us board presence and anything else we want. It's a focal point of the deck, for sure. If you play it in a pure sense. Some people are messing around with the Millennium card as an engine in the OCG. This card does almost nothing for that because Ankh locks you out of basically doing anything else aside from the Exodia stuff. But for the pure variant, this card's pretty good. We'll take it. But that's about everything I have here. If there's anything you think I missed, if there's anything specific about how this card functions with the new Exodia stuff, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear where you guys land on this card overall. But I'm pretty happy with this. It's only one slot. It's pretty playable. You get a new print of Blue Eyes. It's fun. I don't know. I'm with it.
Looks pretty nice too.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more news videos as they come. Peace.